Have you ever stopped and wondered how really groundbreaking ideas or even these just incredible physical feats seem to spread like wildfire?
Yeah, through a whole community sometimes.
Exactly, and so fast, often without, any obvious big plan or a single leader calling the shots.
It's fascinating. You see it pop up in all sorts of places.
Right, like, new tech trends everyone suddenly adopts, or those, frankly, terrifying athletic achievements that just redefine what we thought was even possible.
Hmm.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a really spectacular example of this, actually. It comes from the world of parkour,
Ah, okay. High energy stuff.
definitely. We're talking about something tracers, that's parkour practitioners call breaking the jump. Jason Paul, the tracer, he articulated it really well.
Okay. Breaking the jump. What does that involve?
Imagine you're standing there looking at what seems like an impossible challenge. Maybe it's a huge gap between buildings.
Right, or a really high wall.
Yeah. Or some complex sequence of moves nobody's ever pulled off before. And for ages, it's just
Right.
there. An obstacle, a mental block almost.
A theoretical limit.
Yeah, exactly. Then one person through, I guess, sheer will, incredible skill, lots of preparation, and, let's be honest, a fair bit of courage, they do it.
They make the leap.
They make the leap, they navigate the challenge, they break the jump, and it's not just impressive for them, it fundamentally changes things for everyone. It kind of sparks this quiet revolution.
And what's really interesting there is that this isn't just, a cool story from a niche group.
Yeah.
It's inspiring, yes, but it connects to something much broader.
Okay.
This phenomenon, and loads of others like it in totally different areas, actually lines up really well with something called Stigmergy Network Theory.
Stigmergy, okay, that's a new one for me.
Yeah, it sounds a bit academic, but the core idea is pretty straightforward. Stigmergy helps us understand how individual actions can guide other actions later on just by leaving traces in the environment.
Traces, like footprints.
Sort of. But the environment could be physical or digital or even just conceptual, like a shared idea. And these traces, they guide others indirectly. There's no direct communication needed, no instructions, no central control.
Wow, okay, so it's like distributed intelligence.
Exactly. It's a framework developed by Dr. Marvin Starominsky-Uehara, and it really helps explain these complex collective behaviors that seem to just emerge.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to really unpack this amazing example of collective intelligence from parkour.
Yeah, let's dig in.
We'll look at how that individual bravery, that single autonomous act, translates into this huge community shift, into innovation.
And explore the implications of stigmergy, beyond just parkour, how it affects learning, innovation.
Right. How these seemingly uncoordinated actions somehow lead to these really remarkable collective achievements that maybe no single person could have designed.
It's quite powerful when you see it in action.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning, that first critical step, actually breaking the jump. Let's focus on that individual tracer. They're there at the edge, steadying it. Maybe it's a drop, maybe a series of tricky ledges. They've probably trained for, I don't know, countless hours.
Oh, definitely. Years, probably. Mental and physical prep.
But right then, in that moment, there's no coach yelling, no committee approval,
No group huddle planning footwork.
none of that. It's purely an autonomous act, an independent decision, based on their own assessment, their skill, their nerve.
And maybe that deep drive to just push limits, not just physical ones, but what's thought to be possible.
Yeah, absolutely zero initial group coordination. It's a solo moment of truth.
And that initial uncoordinated act, it's more than just bravery. It's absolutely crucial. It's the spark, the very first modification of the environment.
So when you say environment, you don't just mean the physical wall or gap.
Exactly. Sometimes it is physical. Maybe a handhold gets worn smooth over time. But often, especially in this parkour example, it's the mental environment that changes instantly.
The landscape of possibility, you called it earlier.
Precisely. Before that moment, that jump was maybe seen as impossible or just far too risky. By succeeding, that one person totally shifts the collective belief.
Ah, I see. So the trace isn't just the video, it's the knowledge that it's doable.
That's the first, most fundamental trace in the Stigmergic network. They create a new possibility space just by doing it.
Yeah.
It changes the group's understanding of what humans can do right there at that spot.
That makes a lot of sense. A mental shift is huge. But okay, so one person does it. How does that actually, ripple out? Does word just get around? What happens next?
Right, it doesn't just vanish. And this is where the Stigmergy mechanism really kicks in. These breakthrough moments, they become these powerful, persistent traces.
How's it going to know?
Well, what struck me from the source material was this detail. People literally talk about a jump for a year.
2 years? Wow.
Yeah. These aren't just quick mentions. The conversations, the stories, the descriptions pass between tracers. Those are the traces.
Okay, so the oral tradition is part of it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But now, of course, it's amplified massively by multimedia. High-def videos, photos, Instagram stories, TikToks.
Ah, right. Instant global sharing.
Exactly. So that one act isn't just seen by a few people.
Yeah.
It's potentially seen, discussed, analyzed, debated by thousands worldwide. That creates a really strong, lasting imprint, way beyond the original spot.
So the trace becomes digital and much more widespread.
And critically, these traces aren't instructions. They
Yeah.
don't say, here's the step-by-step guide.
Right, they just say, this, it can be done.
Precisely. That's the signal. And what's also really illuminating is how the parkour community itself and certain specific iconic spots become these crucial domains.
Domains, what do you mean?
Think of a place like the famous IMAX spot in London. It's legendary in the parkour world.
Okay, I think I know the one. Big concrete structures.
That's the one. So when a jump is broken there, it's not just any jump. It's the IMAX jump. It immediately has this extra weight, this significance.
Because of the history and the community's focus on that spot.
Exactly. The shared history, the collective understanding within that community that provides the context. It tells everyone, this one matters. It's within these domains, these physical places loaded with meaning, and also the shared mindset of the practitioners, that the traces really resonate and inspire more action.
So the community acts like a filter, highlighting the important breakthroughs.
And an amplifier.
Yeah.
Ensuring the most significant actions stick around and influence others.
Okay, that difference between it can be done and here's how feels really important. It's like a different kind of learning.
It is.
And this is where it gets really wild, right? The speed and the scaling.
Yeah, this is where the power becomes obvious. Once that jump is broken, the traces are out there circulating. That information spreads incredibly fast.
How? Through which channels mainly?
Both, really. The physical communities means people training together, seeing each other improve, pushing each other, but also massively the digital networks, YouTube, Instagram, forums,
Real-time global sharing.
making the achievement totally scalable. It reaches everywhere, almost instantly. But here's the kicker.
Go on.
It's not just that others replicate the jump. That happens, sure. But very quickly, they start to level it up with much harder tricks.
Whoa, okay, so not just copying, but innovating immediately.
Immediately, dynamic innovation built right on top of that first trace. They see the possibility, and they instantly think, how can I build on that? Add a flip, make it smoother, link it to something else. They evolve it.
That's amazing. It's like the first person opens a door and then everyone else rushes through and starts redecorating the room.
That's a great analogy.
Oh, yeah.
And that escalation, not just replication, that's the absolute core connection to Stigmergy.
How so? Explain that link again.
The most striking parallel is that cascading effect. Once that mental barrier, the psychological ceiling is shattered by the first person.
The perceived risk drops.
Dramatically. Before, the risk seemed immense, maybe prohibitive. After, even though the physical danger is the same, the perceived risk is lower because possibility has been proven.
Okay, I see. It shifts from impossible to just very difficult.
Exactly. And that shift enables rapid adoption and, crucially, that iteration you mentioned. People trying it, tweaking it, adding to it. This is classic Stigmergic behavior.
Where a person acts, leaves a trace.
Whether it's a story, a video, or just that changed mental landscape.
And that trace guides others.
Indirectly guides and enables actions by others across the network. And the key is, it happens often with very little or sometimes zero direct coordination across time and space.
It just flows through the network via the trace.
The traces modify the environment, physical, digital, mental, and that becomes the conduit for this collective behavior, this buildup of collective intelligence. It's incredibly efficient, emergent, self-organized.
That's kind of mind-bending. No director, no manager, just progress emerging. So connecting this out, this parkour example, it's not just a cool new story then, it's a real-world demo of how these Stigmergic networks actually function.
Absolutely. Right at that interface between physical action and digital communities.
The theory isn't just abstract, it's happening all around us, influencing tech, trends, everything.
Pretty much. It shows how really complex results can come from quite simple rules and local interactions, all driven by these environmental cues, these traces, instead of some top-down command structure. It's a blueprint for understanding emergent behavior.
Can you give another example? Maybe one outside of humans?
Oh, sure. The classic example often used when Stigmergy was first being studied, is ant colonies.
Ah, right. I think I've heard this.
Individual ants forage, seemingly at random, but they leave pheromone trails, chemical traces.
Okay.
When an ant finds food, it lays a stronger trail on the way back to the nest. Other ants don't get a memo saying go left.
They just smell the stronger trail.
Exactly. They're more likely to follow the stronger trace. And this incredibly simple, indirect mechanism leads to super efficient collective foraging, finding the best paths, exploiting resources way beyond what one ant could manage. The traces guide the collective.
That's a perfect illustration. Simple trace, complex outcome. So thinking about this, what does it mean for you listening? Beyond parkour, beyond ants.
Well, it's a powerful lens. Think about open source software development.
Okay, yeah. Like Linux or something.
Right. One developer creates a neat piece of code, solves a problem. That code becomes a public trace, an artifact.
Available for anyone to see.
And other developers, with no direct orders, they see it, they build on it, adapt it, fix bugs, extend it.
Leading to these incredibly complex systems no single person designed.
Exactly. Collective intelligence built on digital traces. Digital breadcrumbs, if you like.
Or what about something totally different, like teaching?
Yeah, absolutely. Think about how new teaching methods sometimes spread. It's often not a big official mandate, right?
No, definitely not always. Sometimes it feels like those struggle the most.
Right. Instead, maybe one teacher tries something new, experiments, sees real improvement with their students' engagement result, their success, the vibe in their classroom, what their students say, the actual results. Those are all traces.
Visible evidence.
Powerful traces. Other teachers see it, hear about it, get inspired, they adapt it, maybe improve it, fit it to their own style. It's this bottom-up, observation-driven spread. A real engine for innovation happening organically.
That's profound. It's about seeing proof that something works and then feeling empowered to try it, to build on it. It really shows you don't always need that grand plan or the single charismatic leader for amazing things to happen collectively.
Sometimes, yeah, all it takes is one person to, well, break the jump.
Push a boundary, leave that undeniable trace.
And inspire countless others to follow, adapt, surpass, driving progress in ways we might not even consciously see. It's the power of decentralized intelligence, really.
So just to wrap our heads around this, what we've seen today is basically how these individual autonomous actions, like that first parkour jump, leave these lasting traces.
In the community's environment, physical, digital, social.
And these traces, whether they're stories, code, videos, whatever, they indirectly guide this widespread collective action. They accelerate innovation.
And the really amazing part, often without needing direct orders or painstaking coordination between everyone involved.
It's just happening, silently shaping things, driving progress.
Which brings us to a final thought, really.
Yes.
A question for you, listening, to sort of chew on after this.
Okay.
Where else? Where else in your own life, your work, might you be seeing these Stigmergic networks in action? Or maybe even participating without fully realizing it?
Like how new ways of working pop up in the office, or how social movements gather steam.
Exactly. Or even subtle things. Cues in shared documents, shifts in how your team communicates online. Could these be unseen traces building collective intelligence, guiding things in ways you haven't consciously clocked?
That's a fascinating challenge, to look for those hidden threads.
Yeah. Take a moment, look around science community groups, your own job. You might be really surprised at what you find and how much we can learn from these quiet, indirect ways we collaborate and build things together.